Hello everyone. Welcome to the course of International Macroeconomics. Today, we will learn Chapter 2, the nature and impact of activity in foreign exchange market. Exchange rates affect large flow of international trade by influencing the prices in different currencies. Foreign exchange also facilitates massive flows of international investment, which include direct investment as well as stock and bond trades. In the foreign exchange market, trillions of dollars are traded each day, and the economic implications of shifts in the markets can be dramatic. At first, we discuss exchange rate essentials. An exchange rate is the price of some foreign currency expressed in terms of a home currency, because an exchange rate is the relative price of two currencies. It may be quoted in either of two rates. First, the number of home currency units that can be exchanged for 1 unit of foreign currency. The second, the number of foreign currency units that can be exchanged for 1 unit of home currency. To avoid misunderstood, we mostly specify which country is the home country and which is the foreign. Throughout this course, when we refer to a particular country's exchange rate, we will quote it in terms of units of home currency per unit of foreign currency. For example, Denmark's exchange rate with the Eurozone is quoted as Danish krone per euro. Table 2.1 shows major exchange rate as they might appear in the financial media. Columns 1 and 3 show rates on June 30, 2010. From comparing, columns 4 to 6 show rates on June 30, 2009. For example, column 1 shows rate on June 30, 2010. $1 was worth 1.063 Canadian dollars to 6.081 Danish crowns, 0.816 euros, and so on. According to our definition, this is the price from the US perspective and called American terms. We write this exchange rates use mathematical symbols as follows, with care given to the explicit expressions of the relevant units. Exchange rate of US dollars per euro is equal to 1.318. This is US exchange rate. American terms. Exchange rate of euros per US dollar is equal to 0.759. This is euro exchange rate. We call European terms. Hence, exchange rate of US dollar per euro is over exchange rate of euro per US dollar. Then we will discuss 2.1.2, appreciations and depreciations. If one currency buys more of another currency, we say it has experienced an appreciation. Its value has risen, appreciated, or strengthened. If a currency buys less of another currency, we say it has experienced a depreciation. Its value has fallen, depreciated, or weakened. In US terms, the following holds true. When the US exchange rate rises, more dollars are needed to buy 1 euro. The price of 1 euro goes up in dollar terms, and the US dollar experiences a depreciation. When the US exchange rate falls, few dollars are needed to buy 1 euro. The price of 1 euro goes down in dollar terms, and the US dollar experiences an appreciation. Similarly, in European terms, the following holds true. When the Eurozone exchange rate rises, the price of $1 goes up in euro terms and the euro experiences a depreciation. When the eurozone exchange rate falls, the price of $1 goes down in euro terms and the euro experiences an appreciation. If the dollar is appreciating against the euro simultaneously be depreciated against the dollar because they are the reciprocal of each other. Changes in exchange rate of per euro for dollars and the exchange rate per dollar for euros must always move in opposite directions to determine the size of an appreciation or depreciation. We compute the proportional change as follows. In 2011, at time t, the dollar value of the euro was 1.298. In 2012, at time t plus 1, the dollar value of the euro was equal to $1.318. The exchange in the dollar value of the euro was date exchange rate 1.318 minus 1.298 equal to 0.020 US dollars. The percentage change was data exchange rate over exchange rate at time t is equal to plus 1.54%. Thus, the euro appreciated against the dollar by 1.54%. Similarly, over the same year, in 2011, at time t, the euro value of the dollar was 0.770 euros. In 2012, at time t plus 1, the euro value of the dollar was 0.759. The change in the euro value of the dollar was 0.759 minus 0.770 is equal to negative 0.1 is negative 0.011. The percentage change was date exchange rate over exchange rate is equal to negative 1.43%. Thus, the dollar depreciated against the euro by 1.43%. Okay, then let's talk about 2.1.3 multilateral exchange rates. To aggregate different changes in bilateral exchange rates into one measure, economists calculate multilateral exchange rate changes for baskets of currencies using trade weights to construct an average of all the bilateral changes for each country in the basket. The resulting measure is called the change in the effective change rate, called the change in the effective exchange rate. For example, suppose 40% of home trade is with country 1 and 6% is with country 2. Home's currency appreciates 10% against 1, but depreciates 30% against 2. To calculate the change in home's effective exchange rate, we multiply each exchange rate change by its corresponding trade share and then add up. The quantity of minus 10% times 40% plus the quantity of 30% times 16% is equal to minus 0.04 plus 0.18 is equal to minus 0.04 plus 0.18 is equal to 1.14. Minus 10% times 40% plus 30% times 16% is equal to minus 0.04 plus 0.18 and equal to positive 40%. In this example, home's effective exchange rate has depreciated by 14%. In general, suppose there are n currencies in the basket, and home's trade with the m partners. Trade is equal to trade sub 1 plus trade sub 2 plus ... plus trade sub m. Applying trade rates to each bilateral exchange rate change, the home country's effective exchange rate will change according to the following weighted average: capital data effective exchange rate over effective exchange rate is equal to trade weighted average of bilateral nominal exchange rate changes. Figure 2.1 shows the value of the dollar measured by the US Federal Reserve using two different baskets of foreign currencies. Starting with index set to 100 in January 2002 against a basket of several major currencies, the dollar had depreciated by more than 25% by late 2004 and 35% by early 2008. But against a broad basket of 26 currencies, the dollar had lost earning 50% of its value by 2004 and 25% by 2008. This is because of the dollar was floating against the major currencies, but the broad basket included important US trading partners such as China and other Asia countries that maintained fixed or tightly managed exchange rate against the dollar. This change reversed somewhat after the global financial crisis of 2008.